This is Tamara, and I am doing my final project for competitive supply chain systems, MBE 580, 50, and 51 combined. And the project I'm working on is for a company called Babe Beer, which is a microbrewery that produces craft beer labeled as Babe Beer, one beer for many tastes. Babe Beer, logo design hasn't been official, but for now this is basically what branding is using for the logo, and it would be served on tap, of course, but then also in other forms for outside sales. Origins of Babe Beer. Babe Beer is a beer that was originally created for female consumers looking for a light brew that had no fillers or ingredients contributing to toxic byproducts in a larger scale operation. The homebrew approach is upscaled to a 1,000-liter bar beer plant facility adjacent to a barbecue restaurant featuring locally sourced organic meats and vegetarian options. There is a brown bag lunch, and aside from making beer, Babe Beer offers bottled spring water that is also used in the brewing process. Babe Beer does not sell soft drinks, but instead offers locally sourced herbal tea with some of the ingredients used in the beer. The brewing process is rather straightforward. There are the ingredients. For this picture here, we have malt. Milling, mashing, lautering, brewing, cooling, fermentation, maturing, conditioning, bottling, and packaging. A little bit more specifically, there's mash tank with mash kettle, lauter tan, wort kettle, whirlpool tank, fermentation tank, conditioning tank, filtration tank, and then the end product is produced and packaged for the customer. Brewing practices. Ingredients are obtained responsibly with priority placed upon sustainable business practices that include, but are not limited to, minimizing environmental impact during all production and sales processes. This means offering growlers that are refillable and recyclable. The microbrewery equipment is from Tiantai, a Chinese manufacturer with offerings for large-scale and small-scale operations alike. Any added equipment for future products is easy to obtain at optimal cost, with the only concern being in storage and facilities maintenance. Basics of Babe Beer. Babe Beer is a honey lager with a light formula allowing for less calories, and Babe Beer features no heavy fillers. Babe Beer is handcrafted using the latest technology and brewing innovations. It's bottled and packaged in glass and steel, never canned. Production yield. The starting product is a bottom-line signature item that utilizes basic ingredients with an added aromatic touch of floral and honey essences. The brewing process is by large industrial steel container, yielding 10 hectoliters of beer per cycle of production. This equals to approximately 264 gallons. The leftover product will be used for sideline items such as barbecue sauce and hair treatments. The sideline items are batched and sold in glass jars like those used in canning fruits and vegetables. Production use. There is no waste and any packaging is reusable. At some point, Babe Beer would like to add a line of soap and other hygiene items. The same employees that brew the beer will be in charge of batching up products using leftover materials. This means that about 0.17 gallon of excess product will be utilized to create a line of sauce for the restaurant and bar area aside from storage and brewing facilities. What is not sold prior to expiration date is then donated for tax-deductible contribution to charities providing non-kill shelter and care services for animals. Babe Beer puts beer drinkers in control of taste. The simple ingredients include rice, honey, hops, dried aromatic jasmine, yeast, and sorghum. Add-on sales. Since Babe Beer is interested in animal rights, the health and beauty products are usable for humans and their canine companions. Sales of all sideline products contribute 10% of sales revenue to national animal rights charities, and each year a summer barbecue party gives 100% of sales revenue to local charities involved in animal care. Body care. Another product that will be placed at restaurant registers and near the beer warehouse is a hair conditioning treatment and shampoo line used to enrich the hair and promote health and beauty routines that reflect the organic, sustainable, and responsible business practices of Babe Beer. Babe Beer promises to offer products that are not loaded with unhealthy ingredients, but instead add to a sense of well-being. Responsible business practices. Babe Beer is also a supporter of the World Wildlife Fund, giving tax-deductible donations equaling at least 10% of all profits to such efforts as protecting wildlife. Babe Beer does not forget the heroes of its customer base. Animal hospitals offering reduced fee services for animal care will get a 15% discount, and volunteers will receive a free meal once a month. Packaging. The beer is sold per growler, glass, by draft, or bottled case. There is no smaller quantity available, and customers are encouraged to buy in bulk, with some special orders taken on the first of each month. If the orders are plentiful, Babe Beer plans to add additional brewing equipment, but maintain the microbrew approach. Branding. While it is still in the development phase, Babe Beer is adding other products to its line. Such products will require use of shared equipment, so there is limited use in terms of adding ingredients that could alter the flavor of other items. Even though equipment is thoroughly sterilized and composed of stainless steel, the use over time is believed to contribute some disruption of flavor when mixing ingredients in disharmony. This means that branding is very important. Barbecue restaurant. Babe Beer is a microbrewery restaurant, and there is a close connection of the production to source of ingredients used by restaurant chefs. With honey being such an important ingredient to Babe Beer, the barbecue sauce uses honey instead of sugar of any kind. This means that chefs are not only creating to order food, but they are responsible for after-hours preparation of sauces and marinating mixes. The sauces are also created in bulk and repackaged to offer as sideline items for customers who like to purchase 5 or 10-ounce jars. Since sorghum is used in greater proportion than honey, there is no need for added sugar, such as corn sugar in any of its forms, and dried jasmine flower has been added to compensate for any lack of flavor or aroma. It is possible to use clover or orange blossom honey, but there will be no other honey product used unless it is locally sourced sunflower honey or imported premium honey such as Manuka. This is to ensure that products harmonize well with menu options in the Babe Beer barbecue restaurant. Marketing. Babe Beer is not marketed toward only light lager customers, but Babe Beer is looking to capture a greater percentage of customers that are drinking high-volume sales types of beer, such as Budweiser. Babe Beer aims to add amber, dark, and custom brew selections in addition to offering a hard cider. For now, Babe Beer is offering its signature brew. Planned product additions. There will be a hard cider added to the line, and Babe Beer is already planning an amber ale and dark ale with a flavor similar to chocolate. Babe Beer uses all ingredients organic, including malt, barley, and hops. The water used in Babe Beer is spring water, collected at the source and sent directly to the brewing warehouse for each production cycle. Babe Beer also bottles a supply of the spring water as a sideline item. Atmosphere. Babe Beer is looking into building a site for beekeeping in the event that business proves successful in the long run. Babe Beer would like to add an aromatic herb garden in addition to producing honey, but the size of such depends upon groundskeeping and maintenance. The chef cannot possibly work on food preparation and site maintenance, so there will need to be at least 2 additional employees for such purposes. With events planning and catering services, there also needs to be an administrative professional able to handle scheduling and marketing collateral. Publicity is key to success at Babe Beer. Publicity. Without local advertising on television and in the newspaper, customers would not know Babe Beer exists. It is located in a suburban setting nestled in the woods outside of a local park. The location is not the most accessible, and so a regular customer base is encouraged by offering a points card with rewards system. After so many purchases, customers will enjoy free products and meals in addition to VIP event participation. Babe Beer would like to enable customers to either eat inside the restaurant or outside, so special accommodations are planned to enable a dog-friendly environment. Investors. Babe Beer has decided that since investment sources are from local independent funding, the input of stockholders proves to be of highest importance. Regular meetings are held and investors are encouraged to participate in Babe Beer events, such as VIP parties, live music nights, and charity fundraisers. Babe Beer likes investors to experience the product firsthand, adding critique when necessary, so there are always ways to improve production. Since much of the product line is in planning, it is not being analyzed yet and will not be discussed in the product's notes. Instead, the project will focus upon the supply chain for the current production of beer only. The restaurant and future product lines, in addition to sideline items, will be added after finishing a bottom line production cycle. Supply chain. This means that the production will take place to fill a warehouse with micro-brewed beer, but only the signature line. The additional products will not be produced until the business has sustained 6 months of revenue at 50% of cost. Once the equipment is paid for and cost goes down, prices will remain the same and added inventory will be in place to encourage business growth. The restaurant operations will be based upon chef's consent for locally sourced ingredients, completely separate from the beer production facility. As stated before, only leftover product will be used for sideline items. The exception for this is honey, which will require having ample supply on hand or access to local producers. Anything else will be purchased through restaurant supply stores and produce outlets offering organic options. Babe Beer compared to competition. Babe Beer has organic ingredients, uses spring water from source, domestic production and raw materials, LLC with local unionized labor, attention to detail, establishing customer base to develop further product lines according to taste and preference. That means that customers will basically control the future product lines by what seems to be the most popular. Major competitor, non-organic ingredients. Often the water used is not specified or assumed as being either filtered or purified tap water. Corporation with no unionized labor. Distracting marketing campaigns, and a disregard for customer base when coming up with products that allow greater control and buying power, or just simply preference. Production basics. Each production cycle creates 264 gallons or 33,792 ounces of beer. This makes 528 64-ounce growlers, not enough to start business. There will need to be at least 4 production cycles in place prior to opening business, considering that orders have already been placed for restaurants wanting to use microbrewed beer in their establishment. Each wholesale order has a minimum of 200 growlers, so with orders on hold for 4 restaurants, fulfillment of this alone will take at least 2 production cycles to accomplish. For each case of beer, 12 22-ounce bottles are brewed. This means that 264 ounces of beer are used for each case, equaling 128 cases per production cycle. Sustainable production cycles. Babe Beer is using 5-gallon keg containers for tap use, equaling 52.8 kegs per production cycle. This is where overstock beer will be sourced to sideline items. Since the orders on hold do not include kegs yet, the warehouse will only hold 1 production cycle of goods for Babe Beer barbecue restaurant use according to demand flow. Each cycle of production will take only a few hours to create beer that requires 21 days of ferment before becoming consumable. This means that production will require 4 brewing cycles of products per production cycle. 1 afternoon of brewing adds up to 4 cycles of products able to ferment individually as packaged for sale. So a brewing cycle of 4 cycles will produce a total brewing cycle of 208 kegs of beer, and so on.